right, ShortMeTina once again from ShortMeTina.com. Wishing everyone a happy new year. I believe this is the first video that I'm doing for 2019, and we're going to kick it off, obviously, of course, with ticker AAPL Apple. You're looking at a daily chart dating back to, it's a while, dating back to 2006, right? But let's focus in or fast forward on price action, let's say dating back to around February of 2015. So, breaking news, Apple is kind of lowering its guidance for Q1. I believe they're expecting something like 84 billion. Can you imagine 84 billion in one quarter? At any rate, they're expecting something like 84 billion versus the initial consensus or initial report of 91 billion, right? So now the stock, while it closed at 157.92, we're trading at, looking at my time and sales, I have a last print of around 146.13, which is about a 7% decline from today's close. So what do I see with Apple? All right, looking at the chart again, it's a daily chart focusing on 2015, this breakout here that occurred at around that 135 level. So for me, if this decline continues into tomorrow, and it's more than likely it's looking like that's the case, I can see the stock reverting back to its initial breakout base of around I want to say 130, which is about a 10% decline from current price of 146, something like that. If that doesn't hold, then I can see it dipping a little further below. So considering there's a potential 10% decline again from 146, it's looking like it could potentially be a decent short, but I'm also looking to go long Apple. I mean, at the end of the day, 84 billion in one quarter, still good in my opinion. And if the stock can get down to the low 100s, I mean, I don't know why anyone wouldn't buy. So that's kind of my take on Apple. I wouldn't be completely fearful. Again, being fearful in the markets does not help you out. Just look for trade opportunities. So if the selling pressure continues into tomorrow, there's a potential short on your hands. I see or am anticipating a 10% decline. Also, too, conversely, there is a trade on the long side, obviously, if you can get it a little bit below that 130 mark. What else do we have? All right, JD, daily chart, up about 1.6% on the day. I've done tons of videos. I'm going to keep it really short, dating back to this IPO of around 2014. I highlighted here 1, 2, 3 times. So for 3 times, or for the past 5 years, $19 more or less support has held. Sitting here at 21.27, as long as we can stay above 19, I am bullish on ticker JD. What else do we have? All right, the SPY. So again, you can make monies trading any instrument with varying time frames, and you can do it relatively well, right, if you know what you're doing. So looking at this chart SPY, while I have been preaching and I still maintain, the best bet you can do for the overall markets obviously is to buy in increments. I remain a bull. I am bullish in the intermediate and longer term because, well, history is on my side. If you look at the average returns for the markets over the course of, I don't know, since its inception, things have been positive, right? History is on the side of the bulls. With that said, the SPY sitting here at 2050.18, in my opinion, it's setting up for, it's setting up and you can play it on various levels. One, it's back testing, which is now resistance, one support level of 250. So you can play it 2 ways. You can short that 250 level, or you can wait it out, right? Which I intend to do because, full disclosure, we are short the market, but we ended up shorting it somewhere back here. So we got in around that resistance of 280. So what I'm looking at for the SPY again today, tomorrow, next week, remainder of the year, etc. Well, not the remainder of the year, but remainder of this week heading into next week, full trading week, is whether or not the SPY can actually get above that 250 level and hold. That is a hurdle in my opinion, but a major hurdle and one that I'm paying really close attention to is the 260 level, right? So if we can definitely get above 260 and hold, then I think things are good. Chart remains intact. We're back to continuing this next leg of the bull market. If the markets, however, is having a hard time penetrating not just to definitely 260, but if we're having a hard time penetrating 250, then definitely I think we're going to revert back at least to this previous low of around 233.76, and if we can hold that, then 100% for sure confirmed bear market. What else do we have? All right, ticker FRAN. We're looking at a daily chart, but let's focus in on price action after this gap down. Back in September of 2018, we're off something like 16% on the day. We closed at 75 cents again. On volume, we had a huge sell-off. We closed relatively close, or just basically spot on today's low, right? Not even relatively close. Not relatively close. Today's low of 75 was also the close, right? Makes sense. The close is the low, the low is the close. At any rate, when that generally happens, that means that there might be more selling pressure going into the following day. So for ticker FRAN, I'm expecting more downside. I think it's going to retest the most recent December 19 lows of around 69 cents. If you've been itching to go long, you might be able to take a stab there. At that point, I think you might be able to get a little bit of a bounce. Overall, longer term bearish on ticker FRAN, but if you're looking for a trade on the long side, wait until it gets to the most recent low of 69. Pull the trigger, and I think you might be able to get a bounce. What else do we have? All right, WFT. I'm going to make this really quick. Huge sell-off on the day. We're down something like north of 30%. We closed at 39.87. The low of the day was 38. I fully expect WFT to retest today's lows either tomorrow or the remainder of the week. If 38 cannot hold, I think we're going to revisit around 20 or 21 cents. If you're looking to go long, that might be the ideal spot. Personally, there are better stocks out there than ticker WFT that's not gonna shed 20% or north of 30% in one day, and I usually talk about them on my website at ShortMeTina.com. What else do we have? All right, ticker SGYP. Huge day, up about 91% on the day, close to 92%. I'm gonna make this really quick. So there's a gap here to be filled at around 33 cents. So in my opinion, sitting here at 22, there's a gap to be filled at 33 cents. Watch out for me, that denotes resistance. When the stock gets there, you might see it pull back. What else do we have? All right, ticker PRAN, daily chart. So we're up something like, with a close of 193, we're up about 50% on the day. We went as high as 244. Again, we closed at 192. The low of the day is 178. Look at this here. Pay attention. Huge selling. So in my opinion, expect more downside with ticker PRAN. I would not be jumping in at these levels. What else do we have? All right, ticker ACB. I've done a few videos on ACB. I want to say within the past 2 to 3 weeks. Again, I am relatively bullish on the stock. Obviously above 4. I indicated that the best price point in my opinion to go long would be any print in the 4s. We're sitting here at 524. Again, as long as we can stay above this line of support, which is around let's say 475 for the sake of argument, I think we're good. In the longer term, I am bullish on ticker ACB. What else do we have? All right, ticker CRON. Again, full disclosure, picking the premium member community. Stock is up about 7% on the day. Luckily, we were able to get into this trade back in August when it was trading at around $5. We saw the run up to the most recent high of $15.30, and we even saw the subsequent pullback. When the stock pulled back, I encouraged members, or I said to them, well, I still like CRON, I still like the marijuana sector, and if you can stomach it, it's best to hold. If they did, they're sitting on some pretty gains, or if they added, they're sitting on some pretty gains here, sitting at 11.31. Again, pay attention to resistance of around, let's say, $14. I feel that we're going to retest that. Obviously, a breakout of 14, and this can potentially run. What else do we have? All right, ticker GE. We're up a little over 5% on the day. We closed at 805. Daily chart dating back to around January of 2018. But if you take a longer term view going back several years, you'll see for the most part the chart is, I wouldn't say broken, but it's off tremendously. It's shed something like 90% from its high way back before most of you were probably even trading. But even in spite or despite all of that, GE honestly, I would necessarily say at these levels, right? We're running into support here of around 860. I want to see how the stock is going to react. Then I wouldn't jump in now, but it's looking like, or it's shaping up to be, in my opinion, as a good long, obviously using the most recent low of around 660 as your resistance level. But put GE on your radar. I think that this stock potentially can actually provide investors with decent returns. Yeah, I kind of like it. What else do we have? All right, so we don't have anything else, so let's just kind of cap it there. We reviewed a couple of stocks, so it's a good way to start off the year. So ShortMeTina once again from ShortMeTina.com. If you enjoyed any portion of this video, do two things for me. One, head on over to my YouTube page at ShortMeTina, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. I do videos every single day. This ensures that you do not miss any. Then head on over to ShortMeTina.com, sign up, become a member. Thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for the support.